So thank you, and I pass it to Dr. Daud.
Thank you very much, Arafat. For all of us who have been working together since Wednesday, actually many of us working for a very long time than Wednesday, to better the lives of millions of refugees around the world, I can think of no better greeting than Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, which means, may peace and mercy and blessings of God Almighty be on you. Together, we represent a team of network, a passion, and a force focused to make humanity a priority for those displaced from their homes. I acknowledge the determination of UNHCR and the passion of NGOs to make a difference in the lives of all persons of concern. We must also acknowledge the courage and leadership from the many former refugees present amongst us today. I thank them for sharing their stories and enabling us to see forced displacement through the lens of an affected person. The overarching theme of this year's conference, working together better, may seem straightforward, but it is profound in its depth and scope. It is simple yet powerful. Working, we must work together. That is, action is required. Together, we must work together. That is, partnerships are critical. Better, we must work better. That is, finding better solutions and better ways of doing things. In other words, the status quo is not an option. This overarching theme was further broken down nicely into 3 streams of discussion: data evidence, regionalization, and Global Refugee Forum. We heard the discussion on how we can use data and evidence for informed decision-making in a timely and effective manner to have positive impacts on refugee welfare. The conference this year has a special significance due to the upcoming regionalization, which will hopefully place resources and decision-makers closer to the field, enabling NGOs to partner with UNHCR in more local and regional manner. Today, under Global Refugee Forum theme, we touched on some very important topics, refugees being center of the theme. I'm going to save time because Parveen Ali has already covered this part, and I'm going to go back to the first 2 days and recap some of the important conversations we had over the past few days. First, we are very thankful to the High Commissioner Grandi for taking the time to set the stage for this year's consultations. He highlighted that refugees have to be seen as advocates for themselves and must be actively involved in helping us resolve problems of forced displacement. He acknowledged that misinformation and hate speech are increasing challenges that we must overcome. As politicizing humanitarian issues is dangerous for society, the topic was also addressed through a session dedicated to social media, which should help dispel myth. The High Commissioner said regionalization should be an opportunity to intensify UNHCR and civil society advocacy. He said that the Global Refugee Forum aims to provide concrete solutions to refugees with new stakeholders through commitments. This year, we heard the Assistant Commissioner for Protection, Wolcott, for the last time in NGO consultations. On behalf of the NGOs, I wish him the best in his new assignments. His passion and empathy for refugees will surely continue to have an impact through other ways. As he aptly said, a leopard does not change his spots. Volker emphasized that refugee law is not rocket science. It is about human compassion. We must make sure that the public at large understands it is about people and their fate. UNHCR and NGOs are on the same side here. In the plenary session with Deputy High Commissioner Kelly Clements, explained that the regionalization is one of the furthest looking change UNHCR has taken, aiming at making our collective reaction to crisis quicker and more effective. It should also lead to stronger and more efficient partnerships. We are looking forward to see how this becomes reality as the new 7 regional bureaus become fully functional in the field at the end of this year. Another major theme covered by meaningful discussions was the effective use of data and evidence for the benefit of all persons of concerns, including IDPs. Discussion considered the importance of data in many contexts, including in the urban settings. We heard how data and evidence can support planning, prevention, and delivery of responses to protection needs, finding and implementing solutions to displacement. We also recognize that the challenges arising from global standards and standards set by local authorities do not match. More emphasis must be put on educating governments so that they fully understand the humanitarian and protection issues while keeping a focus on local priorities. The conversation also highlighted the importance of data protection, especially due to the EU General Data Protection Regulations. Data is more than just numbers. It is about people, it is about the vulnerable and their protection needs. We must establish a code of ethics around data protection and privacy, ensuring consent of using any data is voluntary and not coerced. When governments ask for too much data about refugees or persons of interest from NGOs, this can compromise their security. In this case, NGOs must refrain from unnecessary data sharing without a genuine need. The need for a related UNHCR policy document was highlighted, which would help them, especially smaller NGOs, in this regard. We also learned about the use of predictive models to inform humanitarian leaders about conflict, destabilizing events, and displacement, particularly highlighted were considerations about speed versus authenticity of data, particularly that early data saves lives. There is a recommendation for resources to establish and implement a neutral, independent entity to whom different organizations' data can be shared. We also learned about challenges related to statelessness. For example, many countries do not report or are unable to accurately report about their stateless populations. It is not in the government's interest to deny rights and nationality to these group of people. States need to be supported to improve data collection related to statelessness, which could link to a national census and be helped through online self-assessment tool to gather data on statelessness. Independent national bodies could also be established to review the denials of citizenship. At XCOM in October this year, a high-level segment on statelessness will be held. At this event, both states and organizations can share pledges to address statelessness in the remaining 5 years of I Belong campaign. At his plenary session, Assistant High Commissioner Operations George Obo said, "If there is a closer comrade in arms with whom we work with NGOs, I don't know of one." UNHCR NGO partnerships come with both challenges and opportunities. This year, we saw more participation of senior management from UNHCR in this consultation. This is reassuring for us to see, and I hope that this will translate into a stronger bonding between UNHCR and NGOs. Currently, more than 3,000 partners have registered on the partner portal. We are also seeing the transition from viewing NGOs as implementing partners to true partners. We also saw the first revision of the partnership handbook in over 15 years and learned that NGOs are encouraged to share feedback on the new handbook. We expect this to be a living document and we'll see more regular updates. On behalf of partner NGOs, I will take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank Fatma Sharif Noor for her leadership as head of the IPMS since 2011. We also welcome her successor. I also take this opportunity to recognize the launch of the Poverty Alleviation Coalition consisting of UNHCR, the World Bank, Partnership for Economic Inclusion, and 11 NGOs working to increase the self-reliance and socioeconomic inclusion of refugees and host communities through income-earning opportunities. It aims to help 500,000 people with self-reliance and social inclusion over the next 5 years. Another important topic was about preventing sexual misconduct. We are also reminded of the need to prevent and address sexual misconduct for both staff, volunteers, and persons of concern. It was recommended that all organizations must demonstrate clear commitment with concrete message against sexual misconduct that must clearly spell out consequences of sexual misconduct in organizations' code of conduct. The discussion on protecting the rights in mixed movements addressed the links between the two global compacts and how we can work together on issues such as alternatives to detention, regular and complementary pathways, safe and dignified returns, and reintegration of refugees and migrants. One important recommendation to take to the Global Refugee Forum is to ensure that host community members are equally integrated into economic inclusion programming to solicit their cooperation in providing refugee access into local markets and industries. Alongside advocating for refugee self-reliance, it is important to highlight the positive impact refugees can have on local economics when they are able to contribute their own revenues back into their local context. We also discussed the role of NGOs in broadening the base of support. NGOs can leverage existing partnerships with a wide range of stakeholders as well as establish new ones to contribute to meeting the objectives of the Global Compact on Refugees and Global Refugee Forum. This is the brief recap of 3 days of in-depth discussion and recommendation, but it does not do the justice to our efforts. I encourage you to read the full report when it comes out. I would like to thank all participants for their active engagement throughout the consultation, and a special thank you again to the former refugees who are with us. I would also like to thank UNHCR and ICVA in particular for providing us with the platform for positive discussion, and personally for giving me this opportunity to be part of the consultation as rapporteur. Working together better is not just a theme for this consultation, but it is an ongoing journey of putting humanity first, efficiently, effectively, and continuously improving on how things are done. Congratulations to each and every one of you for the noble work that you are doing. I have many valuable lessons myself to take back to my organization and my team at Humanity First Canada. Let us continue to work together and better. Thank you, and may God bless you.